Hi, so today I wanted to take a look at some tyre inserts from Rimpact. So this is a lower cost tyre insert system that I wanted to take a look at to see if it could offer some of the similar benefits that you can get from the more expensive systems, such as the Cush Core, which I've been using for the last year or so I'm pretty familiar with how they work. So the original reason that I got a set of inserts was because I'm pretty hard on rims and I tend to ding them up pretty easily. And I also tend to get quite a lot of snake bites on my tyres. So having the insert helps protect that. Now, the thing that I found is when you're actually using them, that's just like the basic point of what the actual inserts do. The main benefit I found of them is that they change the way that the tyres actually behave. So you get loads of additional damping on the tyre, which gives you more control. And it also keeps the tyre sidewalls up more, so you tend not to roll the tyre as much. Now, it doesn't seem like it's going to be a big difference, but then when you actually do start riding it, it's a massive difference. And I've been trying to get some friends to try them, but the thing that always puts them off is the cost, because obviously the Cush Cores are quite expensive. They are excellent, but they are quite expensive. So I wanted to try these, see if they can offer some of those benefits that I talked about. So what I'll do is I'll change the camera and we'll take a look at these in more detail. I'll get them fitted into a set of tyres and show you what they're like to install. So let's take a look at these. So they just come in this plain brown box. We'll just get them out. So let's have a look. So you've got a little card here with some information and fitting instructions, and then the inserts themselves, and a set of tubeless valves if you've ordered them. So we'll start with the valves. So these are 44mm in length for these. So if you've got deeper carbon rims, you might need longer ones, but these should fit the majority of them. And these are side open valves. So traditionally they'd come out the bottom here, but this has 4 separate holes on the side here, because obviously this is going to sit against the insert, and if it comes out the bottom, it's just going to get blocked pretty easily. So it just makes it a bit easier. And then as you can see, it's got a little O-ring, a little threaded screw, and a cap. It's a removable core. I will say these are smooth, and I wish they had a knurled pattern on them, just because when it gets cold they can be a little tricky to get out. So here's one with a knurled pattern on. Nothing major, but I thought I'd just mention it. Overall, pretty nice little valves. So onto the inserts. So you can see this is where the bonded seam is, and it's just covered with a bit of tape just to make it nice and smooth. And then you can see the shape of the actual insert, so they've just cut a bit of material off so it sits deeper into the bed of the rim. And see the density of the foam. And what I'll do is I'll check the width and the thickness of these. So look, obviously there's going to be some variations on these because that's just the nature of things. And then the thickness of these, get that right. There we go. And we'll just finally check the weight of these. So 94, and then check one of the valves. Okay, so here's the tyre. So we'll start with the valve. So just split it out into the 3 pieces and just find your valve hole. I find it's best if you just put a bit of pressure on the top, put the little O-ring over, and then screw it on. Just helps you get a bit of a better seal if you hold it down. You're screwing it in. So this tyre, as you can see, it's been used and does have some sealant in, so it might be easier if you've got a tyre that's fresh, but this is all I've got, so that's what I'm going to be using. I've left one bead on and then just popped the other bead off. I've got to put some more sealant in. This is the best sealant I've ever used if you're looking for some to try out. It's a mock-off one. It's pretty cheap as well, and pretty easy to find. So excellent stuff if you want some sealant. So get the insert. Then what I'm going to do is put the seam at the opposite side of the valve. So see if we can feed this through. It's just a little bit fiddly to start with, but should go in pretty straightforward. And what I've found with the other inserts is just try and get the bulk of it in to the center channel. So it's obviously much trickier to do on camera, but just to give you an example. So once you've got the insert installed onto the rim in the center, this technique helps getting it on much easier. So most rims have a spot which is slightly easier to fit tires onto. It's usually opposite the valve. There's like a slight flat spot in them, and it makes it easier to fit the tire on. So what I always do is start from the valve out and then work to the bottom. So this technique, you just take your two thumbs, take the bead of the tire, you want to push and then pull the insert and then tuck the tire underneath, and then just work out from the valve. Just doing it with your thumb. You can just go, it's a bit difficult with both thumbs. Sometimes you can get away with one, depends how thick your tire is. Just keep working around the tire. Say working from the valve out. It will go on eventually. Just lift and then push until you get to the other side. And then what you can do is start back up at the valve and then just tuck it in even further. Doesn't seem like it's going to make a big difference pushing in a little bit, but it does, because it gives you more space for the bead to sit. And then just keep doing it around. See, this is a lot easier to do when you haven't got to worry about camera angles for it. And then should be able to just roll the tire back. So you probably can do it all without levers, but if you do need to use a lever, just use one. Then you just want to centralize the insert, make sure it's sat straight, no kinks in it. It's not tucked underneath the bead or anything. And we'll add some air to this. So what I normally do is put them up to about 30 psi, maybe 40. Usually gets them on most of the time, unless you've got any sealant or anything stuck in them, but they tend to go up with about that. And then I leave them overnight, just to make sure that, oh, there you go, just to make sure any gaps have been filled in and sealed with the sealant. As you can see, line is all the way around on the tyre. And that's it installed. So that was a look at the Rimpact tyre insert system. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run these for the next 6 months or so, along with a couple of friends who are also going to try them out to see what they're like long term. But the initial rides that I've had on them, pretty happy with the way that they're performing. They do offer the characteristics that I was looking for, so the damping and the extra support. Obviously, I'll be able to tell further down the line what the durability of them is like and the protection that they offer. But that was my initial thoughts on these. So if you've got any comments or questions, please feel free to leave them in the box below. Thumbs up are always appreciated. And thanks for watching.